Today on Class Action, the Wizard of Woz. Our special guest, Steve Wozniak. Best known as the co-founder of Apple Computer, along with its turtleneck-wearing CEO, Steve Jobs. But it was the Woz alone who built the first personal computer, the Apple I, and later, the Apple II, the device that launched the personal computer revolution. While he went from computer geek to cult icon, the Woz mixed in a bit of teaching, too. Yes, a multi-millionaire mentor for public school students. And when he wasn't clicking his keyboard, the Woz was clicking his heels on Dancing with the Stars and showing the tech world he really does think different.
Well, certainly Apple Computers made Steve Wozniak wealthy and famous, but how many multimillionaires do you know who would open up their homes to disadvantaged kids? Get on your Segway, because we're taking you to Camp Woz.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
I started missing a lot of days from school.
I just flipped out, like lost control.
I was being really bad at home.
How I thought that my dad died was all my fault.
I had financial issues. I have a daughter to take care of.
I want some people to look up to me instead of looking down.
The Segway. That clip is a rough cut from a documentary entitled Camp Woz about that week. Boy, you love that Segway. Are you still tooling around on that?
A big part of my life, for usefulness and for fun, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that week at Camp Woz. You look at you only see a glimpse of you there with the kids, but you can see that there's a deep connection between you and those kids.
Well, my friend Joe Patane put it on. He was putting it on very much modeled after what I had done for so many years, setting up classes for kids, giving them computers, giving them high-quality instruction and teaching them that, and, you know, giving them another thing to do rather than be out on the streets.
Right.
So it was just kind of a great part to be around it. It was held at my home.
Right.
So, you know, I kind of provided a home and a garage and, you know, and some inspiration to the kids. We had some very top-level people. We had Oscar winners, Tony winners, Grammy Award winners, telling the kids about their own problems growing up, their own troubles in life, and, you know, as part of an, you know, enrichment to the kids to feel that, yeah, there was something they could do if they had the right resources, if somebody believed in them particularly.
And was that really the connection for you, too, of having, you know, people that sometimes feel like they're on the margin, people don't really understand them, that can't really see their brilliance yet, and haven't had that connection with someone like you to say, hey, here I am.
Well, I care very strongly about everyone, especially those who are on the margin, whether they have the abilities or not. Some of them are just disadvantaged in certain ways, you know, maybe they have mental problems, whatever, but I care so much about them because they have some valuable contribution to make, and I just feel it deeply in my heart.
And Camp Woz wasn't just about computers. I know it's very well-rounded. Why are you teaching them about all those other things, too? What did you want them to grasp from that?
Well, when I taught my own classes, they were about computers. But I also tossed in a little bit of talk about life and how you might make decisions and little philosophies, things that probably a real teacher in a real school couldn't do, but I was voluntary. You know, some of these things where you're touching on, are you kind of influencing our kids about values? Should you copy music or not? That sort of stuff. But you know, and always an element of fun. Always an element of fun, because the most important thing is, it's not so important what I taught. It was more important that I motivated them to want to learn. And nowadays I say, you know, the most important thing you could do is, if you have a student, get them to want to learn, to enjoy it. There's no way in the world, even if you don't teach them the right stuff, they're going to find it. They're going to learn it on their own. It's going to become an interest in their life. So I bring this element of joy and fun very much into the learning experience.